Welcome to the Little Football TV. And today, or should I say tonight, we've got a different guest, but then she's been with us, I think, for like the longest time. We just couldn't get her on for quite a bit. Nkuli, do you mind obviously introducing yourself because this is the first time the viewers are seeing you. Go for it. Nkuli, can you hear us?
Okay, Nguli. You can call me Nguli. I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm from Midrand. I'm from Fort Lawrence. Yeah. Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, my network is unstable. I'm getting a notification that's stating that my network is
Mm-hmm.
unstable.
Yes, sir. Uh, no, it's fine. It's fine. You can just yeah, go it out and then yeah, guys. We're going to talk about paper. Basically, there's a Tuesday show, a Tuesday night show. It's called Paper Talk. We couldn't do the Monday football podcast. This week and last week. People have commitments, and we also had like terrible weather in this country, and the network was pretty much done for. But yeah, man, guys, it's Paper Talk Tuesday, as I like calling it, and it's been a while since I did this, but I feel like we need to be doing it week in, week out, and discussing what's happening in the papers. There's a lot that's happening in football right now, and we just got out the international break, and then there was like the Premier League fixtures over the weekend. But aside from the games that took place, there's news that is happening currently, and one of them being Chelsea. Chelsea Football Club have apparently narrowed their bidders to just four people now. The Ricketts being one of them. Apparently, Chelsea fans were protesting over the weekend with regards to the Ricketts family becoming one of the potential owners. Apparently, only I think only 50 or 100 fans showed up for that protest, and it is what it is, man. I feel like the Ricketts, the reason why Chelsea fans protested, it's because they scared that the Ricketts family could be somewhat like the same way as the Glazer family are. I wouldn't blame them. At this point, I would not want American ownership. After what we're experiencing at Man United right now, I don't blame Chelsea fans not wanting these guys here. And it's no offense, but we've seen how Americans run football clubs. They try and turn these football clubs into franchises. Instead of trying to dominate. They trying to make money out of football clubs even if they're not winning. That should not be allowed. So after everyone seeing what the Glazer family has done to Man United, practically ruining Man United as a football club, turning it upside down, um, ripping the heritage out of the club. Like I'm all for people not wanting, American ownership, because I feel like American people are just not tied to football the way the rest of us are in the world. And it's no offense to them; they have their own sport. They have their own sports that they love, they grew up loving. So we can't be on some judgmental stuff and say, um, everyone has their has their favorite sport, has their favorite the sport that they love. So we can't all expect everyone to be football lovers, but the rest of the world is, unfortunately. And you know this is what makes football stand out of the rest of the world. It's because we do not want these football clubs to be turned into circuses or franchises. We want to compete. It's all about competing and winning. It's not about trying to basically try to like turn every club into something commercial. Football should not just be commercial brands, advertising, social media, those sort of things. We want to see people get on the pitch and actually perform and do certain things. But yeah, man, Chelsea down to 4 bidders. This is going to be very interesting. I mean, there's a lot that can go and happen. And then obviously, touching on the news that still no agreement with the Salah extension contract from Liverpool, which should be interesting. I'm sorry about that, guys. Nkuli, she was just experiencing network problems. We've been having those problems in the country, like I said in the beginning of the show, for a couple of days now. And I didn't even know I was gonna do the show. Yesterday is the same thing. I couldn't do it. I could have done it solo, like I'm doing it right now. But network problems were a problem. But yeah, man. Obviously, Liverpool, like I said, Mo Salah is not gonna be. He still hasn't agreed, sort of like a contract. A new extension on his contract. I think that's down to the fee more than anything else. It's down to what he wants to earn, because this is his last professional contract at the highest level. So he's looking at it in that way. You can't blame him for wanting the best for himself, and as well as his agent. His agent is just looking out for him. He's looking out for the biggest paycheck. And he's probably looking over there at Man United or over there at City, and he's like, you know what, I'm behind them in terms of earning, and I'm one of the best players in the Premier League, or the best in the Premier League at the moment. So he should be in that bracket. And football's just a madness nowadays. Everyone is earning a lot of money. But I feel like at Liverpool, they have a wage structure to meet. So I feel like they don't want to get out of that wage structure, because it's gonna prompt the rest of his teammates to want more money as well. That's currently what happened at Man United. You give a contract, a huge amount of money to one player, and then everyone else ultimately would also want, when they renegotiate their new terms and everything, they're gonna want more money as well. That's what happens. It triggers everyone else's demands. If one person gets 500, for example, 500K a week, everyone else is on 100K. What happens? Everyone's going to want to be on somewhere closer to that. Everyone's going to be on 3 or 4. So that creates, and it destabilizes the wage structure within the club. And that's what happens at Man United. But yeah, Liverpool, obviously in the title race, they're still in the title race. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to go to the wire with Liverpool and Man City. But yeah, man, it's very important. It's either Liverpool are going to let go of Mohamed Salah, or they might actually keep him. But keeping him, they'll be putting themselves in a very dangerous situation, because if you keep him, then everyone else is going to demand, if not higher amounts, higher wages, because that's what happens. If one player can't be sitting on 400 or 500K, everyone else is going to be on something similar to that. So I think that's where the situation is with Liverpool and Mo Salah's contract situation at the moment. But obviously you guys have to keep in touch with that, and a lot of developments could be happening with that one. Yesterday Arsenal lost to Palace. It's still gonna be. I still think that it's still gonna be. I still think either them or Tottenham Spurs are gonna be finishing in the top 4. That's quite obvious. Man United is out of that race, and I feel like every other team is out of that race. You know, West Ham, I also feel that they're just not going to be that team. I feel like it's between Tottenham and Arsenal. Vieira with the masterclass, as usual. It's a shocking result for Arsenal, but you know, it is what it is, guys. But, besides that, news. There's no really news coming out of Man City. You know, except this Sunday it's gonna be Man City versus Liverpool, so that could be a title race. That could really decide it. You know, people say, but there's still a few games left. That could be a title decider. You know, both teams have been consistent. Both teams know how to grind out results. So I could see if one of them gets 3 points in that game, I think it's done. You know, if City beats Liverpool, the league is done. If Liverpool beats Man City, the league is still, it's gonna go to the wire. That's all I'm saying. But if City actually wins, then I think it's done. Like, so it's gonna be a Super Sunday, obviously on Sky Sports. So yeah, man, that's the big game this week. Furthermore, what's happening at Man United, for example. The latest news on with regards to Man United. Well, Wayne Rooney had an interview with Sky Sports earlier on. I think it was earlier on today, in the morning, where he was asked who he would prefer between Poch and over Ten Hag, and fans slated him after that. You know, when you look at social media, people were pissed off, you know, and they already called Rooney a sellout. You know, I was one of them because you know, he like, I don't know what's up with these legends. You know, they speak to them, they all have the same, like they all say the same thing. Like it feels like they're robots or something, you know. It's a shame, man, because I admired these guys, you know, growing up, obviously, and watching them dominate the game and achieve a lot of things and become legends right in front of their eyes, from them being kids to them being now legends of the game. But, you know, Rooney apparently said he wants Poch over Ten Hag because Ten Hag, he said he wants Poch over Ten Hag because Poch is Premier League proven. Please tell me, how does that work? I've never understood this notion that someone has to be Premier League proven. That's actually proven to be a myth. That's a myth. Because you can't be out here saying someone is not going to be successful because they're not Premier League proven. And especially when we talk about managers, because that's a very flawed argument to use, especially considering that the greatest manager in Premier League history is not Premier League proven. So Alex Ferguson, when he came to the Premier League, he was from the Scottish League. He had no previous experience in the Premier League whatsoever. He's never played in it. He's never been associated with it. He was always a Scottish guy. He was from Scotland. He played in Scotland. He retired his football in Scotland. He started his coaching badges in Scotland. You understand? So I'm not trying to hear this thing of people saying, you know, I feel like it's been watered down, and I feel like people have just got lost in the translation part of it. So I'm not trying to buy that argument, because Poch, the reason why they want Poch over Ten Hag is because Poch has Premier League experience and he's Premier League proven. I'm not buying that. Sorry. Ten Hag, I feel like he's a good manager for Man United, and I'm speaking from a fan's perspective, or even from an objective stand of view. Ten Hag is meant for Man United, you know, and it's a chance for this board to move in a different direction, you know. And yeah, man. But besides that, guys, over the weekend, it looks like the top four race is gonna be it's gonna be between Tottenham and Arsenal. And clearly, because Man United drew, no surprises there. But Arsenal lost 3-0 to Crystal Palace, which gave now Tottenham like a very huge chance into making top four. Now, the question is who's going to bottle this? I don't know who to go for, but, something tells me that Arsenal is still going to finish top four somehow. But a lot is going to happen. Premier League is coming to a close. I think people are going to, we now headed into the last part of the season. And, teams that are still fighting for competitions, such as your Chelsea's, that Liverpool, Man City, it's Champions League, it's going to be very interesting, obviously with City, there's no injuries, they don't have injuries. The squad is full. The squad is fit. Everyone is fit. So City, have an amazing chance of actually, winning the league title, retaining it. They might retain it because now this weekend, it's a Liverpool versus City game. Now, whoever wins in that game is definitely going to be a title winner. That's my notion, because I mean, if both of these teams have been very consistent, like I've been saying since the beginning of the show. So for me, it's a title decider this weekend. I'm not trying to hear anything. On Sunday, it's a title decider between Man City and Liverpool. But yeah, we'll see. That's a very interesting one. And Liverpool already have a trophy this season. They still have the Champions League to fight for. They still have a league title to fight for. So it's very interesting. I don't know who's going to win the Champions League, because all these teams are still in there too. It could be Chelsea, could be Liverpool, could be Bayern Munich. So, like, right now it's about who's gonna be lucky enough not to suffer from injuries or fatigue or anything of that. The team with a bigger squad is the one that's gonna finish off strongly. That's my theory on this. But yeah, man. Obviously, I want to hear people's predictions. I mean, if you guys can comment and tell me who do you think is gonna finish top four between Arsenal and Spurs, I'd like to hear that, because I can't decide for that. But I still think it's gonna be Arsenal. But everyone has their different opinion. But anyone can say that prediction-wise, who do you think is gonna finish top four, and who's gonna win the league? Because these are the two most important aspects of the Premier League now. But yeah, guys, obviously I'm gonna round it off now with the Poch, where Rooney was interviewed in the Sky with Sky Sports News, where he stated that he'd prefer Poch over Ten Hag because Poch is Premier League proven. Guys, I don't know where these legends get this thing. Like, I'll once again say this. Like, I'm very shocked that someone would actually say this in this day and age. We've already proven that notion, that this Premier League proven notion it's a farce. It's a myth, it's a farce, and it has no standing. Because if you look at the most successful managers in Premier League history, they're not Premier League proven. They all came from different leagues to come here into the Premier League, and they've become successful here. So Alex Ferguson is one. Arsene Wenger is another one. Jose Mourinho is another one. Pep Guardiola is doing it right now. People were saying he was going to come into the Premier League and he was going to suffer. He's winning Premier League titles for fun. And he's not even Premier League proven. You get what I'm saying? So I want people to quickly stop that notion, because it doesn't make sense anymore, and we need to move on from this Premier League proven thing, because that's lazy journalism and it's lazy punditry. We all know that. If you've watched football, we all know that notion is dead. It shows you that you do not care. Like Wayne Rooney and the rest of the ex-Man United legends, I think they don't even follow games like that anymore. Rooney has his own work cut out. He's coaching Derby County. So for him to be making that notion clearly shows that he's not in tune with whatever is happening right now, or in tune with everything for that matter that's Premier League related. But yeah, man, guys, again, Everton sucked into the relegation zone. Like, I want people to place their bets and who's gonna get relegated as well? Because I feel like we could get a shocker with the relegation as well. The relegation. I mean, Lampard is saying he just came out and he was saying that he trusts his players. He missed obviously Everton. The reason why they've been losing, I feel like they've been losing points is due to injury. They're having sort of like an injury crisis of their own, and they've also struggling to get the best out of Dele Alli as well. So it's a lot of factors, but the relegation battle is really an interesting one, because someone like Everton are never sucked into the relegation battle at any cost in time. So this could be very interesting. But yeah, man. Besides that, guys, I don't really think that there's anything that we can go through. Besides, I think we pretty much covered up the paper talk. Anything that's interesting outside of the Premier League? Is there anything? Barcelona are still in the Barcelona obviously won. They beat Sevilla over the weekend. Very interesting and entertaining game. I fairly enjoyed it. That's the only football that's left for me at the moment. Real Madrid grinded out another result. I think the La Liga title is going it's headed back to Madrid. Yeah, but besides that, guys, I think it's very much straightforward. The paper talk, pretty much, obviously, guys, I had to do this alone because my other guests were not available today, and they had other commitments that kept them away, and obviously network as well. Nkuli couldn't get into it, but hopefully next time we'll see what happens. But I feel like tomorrow I've got United Talk tomorrow, where we'll be discussing all things Man United. I'm looking forward to that because I'm gonna really dissect everything from ground up. I'm really gonna tear people apart with this one. But I hope you guys actually catch me out with that one. But yeah, man, this was Paper Talk, guys, and new news. But yeah, man, I think you guys have a wonderful and lovely evening, and I'm signing out.
Happy to be back home after
Peace
12
out.
years.
Good game, a really good game.
Like I said to Martinelli.
Hello, Antonio. Nice to see you again.
Hello, good afternoon.
It's gone through Laporte. Rodri!
Dieser Lewandowski-Auftritt sorgt für Wirbel.
Looks like you lost another one.